Hello everybody, and I want to welcome everyone to this episode of the Booze Geek. My name is Chuck, and I am your host. And before I get started, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. And if you like the episode, hit that like button to give us a big thumbs up. And I'm going to thank you all in advance. So this episode, this is part 3. This is the penultimate episode of our Dogfish Head Brewing Portfolio Tasting Extravaganza. Quick recap. On that first episode, we tasted and reviewed Dogfish Head's 60-minute IPA. On that second episode, we tasted and reviewed Dogfish Head's 90-minute IPA. Well, on this episode, we're extending the boil time even longer because we are tasting and reviewing the granddaddy of all three of these beers. This is the big one. This is Dogfish Head's 120-minute IPA. Very excited about this beer. Now, this beer uses the same technique as the first two, continuously hopping throughout the entire duration of the boil, which has now been up by another 30 minutes to 120 minutes. However, this beer is similar to the 90-minute IPA, where this beer is also a continuously hopped Imperial IPA. Although the stats on this one are astronomical through the roof compared to the first two. So, quick recap, again, 60-minute clocks in at 6% ABV, 60 IBU. 90-minute clocks in at 9% ABV, 90 IBU. This one clocks in at a whopping 16.6% ABV. I mean, that's huge. 16.6% ABV. And the IBU has buried the needle at 120. So without further ado, here we go. The granddaddy. I'm very excited to try this beer. I must admit, we are going to crack the top on this puppy and let's have some fun. Here we go. 1, 2. Boom, boom. Little bit of smoke to start off with. 100. I'm going to get the 120-minute pour, although I don't even think I need that much. I think that would about do it right there. But I'm going to go. There we go. Okay. That should do it. At 16.6%, yeah. I mean, that's more than most bottles of wine. Just imagine that. So here we go. Starting with color. Okay, color-wise, we got a rich copper. I mean, it's not a deep dark copper, but that is a nice, rich, dark amber, almost copper color. And next to no carbonation on top. We got some soap suds floating on top. But I mean, that color, yeah. I mean, it's just getting more and more intense as we go down the line. We went from a nice golden straw, darker, almost orange golden straw to this. I mean, crazy, crazy. But let's give this a swirl and let's give it a nose. Here we go. Oh, mama. Here we go, baby. Nose number 1 on the 120-minute IPA. Nose number 1. Whoa. Okay. Well, number 1. We are getting some booziness off the nose here. A little bit of aroma of booze. We are also getting... There is some pininess coming through. We are also getting... molasses. And another nose. There is a honey sweetness coming through. I mean, this is definitely a complex beer. There is a lot going on here. Another nose here. Yeah, a little bit of earthiness. Swirl, swirl, swirl away. Slight hint of rubber and almost like just a hint of like a candied orange going on. But I'm going to swirl this. I really want this beer to open up. Just warm up just a tad and just open up. Here we go. We're going to open up, baby. We're going to do this. 16.6%. Let's give this one a sippity sip. Let's prost once again the Dogfish Head and prost to the 120-minute IPA. Prost, baby. Sip number 1. Wow. That is a hugely full-bodied beer. Even more so than the 90-minute. This is very full-bodied. But flavor-wise, what do we got? Well, this one I'm going to start off with It's very complex, very deep. And it's actually warming up my chest a little bit. But what do we have flavor-wise? Well, for starters, we have a little bit of pine. We also have a little bit of citrus, just a little bit. We also have almost like a candy, like a little bit on those, a candied orange. Although I didn't get another sip on this one. Almost like a fruitcake that has been drizzled with brandy on top. Like a brandied fruitcake is coming through. This is a big drinker, man. A really, really, really big drinker. Wow. And yes, finishing it off, there definitely is a booziness on the back end. I'm not going to lie. You are getting that warm, boozy sensation coming through. I mean, you're feeling it in your chest. And like I said, at 16.6%, like I said, that's higher than most wines. But you're feeling it. You're tasting it and you're feeling it. I mean, this beer, this is an extremely, extremely complex beer. This is a beer that you would sip after a big meal, maybe almost like a fine port. You'd want to smoke a cigar with this beer. I mean, this beer is deep, it's rich, it's complex. I mean, this beer is huge, absolutely huge. And I gotta admit, with everything going on, and I'm sure, you know, the longer I swirl this, it would open up even more, reveal some more flavors. As a matter of fact, yeah, I'm also getting now almost a honey sweetness is coming through. And you know, I'm gonna give it another sip too. Yeah, and a bit of that molasses is also coming through. I mean, this beer is huge. Now, what would I give this on the pint-o-meter? I mean, because as rich and as deep as this beer is, a lot going on. The balance is incredible. I mean, I don't want to say it's over. You're getting too much booziness, but at 16.6%, you're going to get a little bit of booziness. But it's not overdoing it. It's not like, whoa, in your face. You are getting a little bit of heat, but I get it. At that percentage, I get it. I'm going to give this beer. I'm going to give this beer a 9.5. I mean, this beer is dynamite, man. My only little gripe, I think the booziness, I think the ABV in general could be brought down a little bit. I really do. I wish the ABV was brought down to about 12%. If everything else was as balanced as it is, if it was everything with the flavors and the aromas were as balanced as it is, and you brought that booziness, that ABV down to about 12%, maybe 13% tops, this beer would be even better than what it is. Because I will say the booziness, while I know it's going to be there on this beer percentage-wise, I don't think it needs to be this high technically. But yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's my review of the Granddaddy, the 120-minute. And with that, I want you to join us for part 4, in which case we will be tasting a beer that has no relation to these. This beer is their Palo Santo Marin, this a wood-aged brown ale. So with that, I'm going to wrap this one up. And I'm going to raise my pint. We will see y'all next time. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. So raise that pint. Cheers, PROST, and enjoy!